Welcome to my horde. 2016 Nintendo, where are they releasing a bunch of lame-ass Wii U games? But in November, they released something so popular, even people want it for Christmas. They re-released the Nintendo Entertainment System. But honey, they shrunk it. It's puny. Instead of being the big old machine like it was, now it's extremely tiny. Look at the size of my hand. You could probably feed this to a child or something, and then they will probably end up in the hospital. So yeah, they released a grand total of 4 of these, and they sold out instantly. And they announced, Nintendo said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna discontinue it in April." Haha, with a middle finger showing everybody. And then they re-released it in 2018, and it was stuck on shelves, and then they got rid of them. But yeah, this is I got this as the re-release. I don't know why mine has a ding right here, but oh well. It's almost identical to the original, but there are some differences. The controller ports are from the Nunchuck and Classic controllers. So yes, you can use Classic controllers on here. Tiny little power button and a tiny little reset button. You can't open the lid, unfortunately. That's really, really sad. I would like to have the lid open, but you gotta do what you gotta do. The bottom, it just says Nintendo Entertainment System. On the back, this is why it's super popular. It has a micro USB. Oh wow, 2016. We all love micro now. It has HDMI, and you can play it on a flat screen television. These have 30 built-in games, like Mario, Zelda, ironically Pac-Man on here. There would be some games that I would personally want on here, like they didn't have Castlevania 3, but they added Simon's Quest. That's kind of funny, but they only have one Mega Man game, Mega Man 2, but not the rest. But yeah, I am delaying the inedible for the controller. The controller is not half bad. Here's the controller. It's the 1-to-1 recreation from the NES controller. Here's your controller length. I could probably show it. Plug it right here. Yeah. It's literally 3 feet. You have to literally when you want to get out of a game, you have to bend over and hit the reset button. If you don't have an extension cord, guaranteed when you get rage at like Ninja Gaiden or something, more likely your Nintendo will be going across the room. But don't worry. People are like, oh, they should make more of these with more games built into it. And Nintendo was like, oh, that's a perfect idea. Let's make a Super Nintendo one. They released a Super Nintendo one in 2017. And this one's actually kind of a little worse. The eject button doesn't do anything, which is unfortunately 0 out of 10. On off, reset, all the same. A shame, still micro USB. But the controllers ports look different. This is my downfall about it. It still uses the same classic controller. You have to pry that off to plug in your controller. That's stupid. You want to make it look nice, but they were like, well, either we're going to have it like this, and make a new controller ports, or make it like this, and make it look ugly. So let's cover it up. At least the controller is actually pretty good. They actually made it more rougher. Like I have a texture on it. Usually for the L and R, it's like printed, like for example the Super Nintendo logo. It should be like printed, but they made it engraved. Besides the different feel, it's actually really good. Hey, good news. Instead of 3 feet, when you get one of these, actually, here's the thing. You only get one controller with the NES one. That's it. You only get one. If you want a separate one, that's $10. And I wouldn't be surprised if the one in the separate box is way more expensive. This is actually, you get 2 of these. And good news, you get 4 feet. Hooray! 4 feet. Hooray! You still need an extension cable. God damn it, guys. But this actually has less games. It has 20 games. Like, you got the Marios, you got the Zelda, you got Kirby. But there's the one unreleased game, Star Fox 2, which is only exclusive on here until I'm lying on my ass. You can get on the Switch Online service, and then now that's worthless now. But don't worry, Sega's like this. I see these successes of these mini systems, and after Sony shit their pants of how horrible theirs were, they made a Genesis Mini that's not made by Act Games. Oh my god! Act Games made shitty Genesis systems that have like messed up sound. This is actually a really good one. They actually supplied it with like a good emulation team, but yeah, it's actually this is the definition of one-to-one with all the features. The cartridge slot moves. Fun fact, you could stick your weed in here. But yeah, on off reset, the volume slider moves, even though, yeah, they even have molds of where the ports would have been. Like, that's where the headphone is. That odd, weird bump is still there. That little port thing was there. Yes, that is still a micro USB, boo. HDMI, and you could slide that off where the Sega CD is, and you can buy the Tower of Power, like little accessories, but they won't do much, but you can actually get that. If you want them, like the North American ones, yeah, apparently that's with the press kit that you have to use, which is apparently that's extremely rare. The controllers, you get 2 in the box, and they're USB. I assume that you can use it with a PC. I don't know, because I actually never tested it out. But it even says high definition graphics on there. High definition graphics, my ass. The controller is actually based off of the first run of the Genesis. For people who never have seen a Genesis controller, you're like, oh, that's strange. Why is there red buttons? Apparently, the first run of the Genesis has red buttons, like red outlines and stuff. So they didn't give you a 6-button controller. The second model of the Mini, yeah, they did make a second edition of the Genesis, which I don't own. That actually has a 6-button controller. Even in Japan, this came with a 6-button. But not here. We love the 3. I still find this controller extremely uncomfortable. But the good news is extremely long cords. Like, extremely long. And if you have USB extenders, you can just plug it in here, and you get an even longer cord, so you can play across a football field or something. This has, like, the normal Sega games, like Sonic 1 and 2, not 3. Damn you, Michael Jackson to hell. But, you know what all these systems have in common? All these have in common, you can hack these. These are the easiest systems in the world to hack, and there's no way you can screw them up. They all use the exact same software, ironically, to use, and you can play more Nintendo, more Super Nintendo, more Genesis games. The Genesis is a little iffy. Sometimes when you turn it on, like, the sound doesn't come up, and like Truxton on this one. I don't know if I have like a bad ROM or something, but yeah. Here is actually kind of interesting. These are actually kind of affordable when they were released. This was $60. This, because they added a second controller, $80. I'm pretty sure this was $80, maybe $70. Just let me know. I don't know, I'm scared. But yeah, these were all readily affordable. And actually really good for like displaying on shelves compared to like the PlayStation Classic that would say want $100, and then they kicked it back all the way down to $20. That's what you get, Sony, for doing something extremely stupid. Like, I'm gonna say anything, like removing discs. Yeah, I'm better about that, but I wish they'd continue on with these. For Nintendo, I understand why they stopped doing it, because of the quote-unquote Switch Online. You can even play Genesis games on Switch Online. There's really no real point about it. If you have a Switch, just get Switch Online. It's actually cheaper than buying all of these, but at least with these, you can actually keep, like, the actual units, but you can actually get wireless controllers for the NES, SNES, and Genesis controllers for Switch Online, so, you know what, I don't like plastic anymore, get out of here.